Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for July 3rd, Friday, 2020, 3 p.m. Eastern. In our TFCC Awakening, evidently when I was going to give out when I gave out the web address for the process of sovereignty, a lot of people had it cut off. So people are emailing, asking for the web address. And the web address is oneglobalestate.com. Oneglobalestate, all lowercase, all one word.com. That's where you begin the process and will finish the process. So again, it's oneglobalestate.com. Think about for yourself, just for a moment, on you revealing your most radical truth. In other words, when you share what cannot be shared, speak what cannot be spoken, and reveal what may embarrass you completely, you remove all walls, mask, and hiding. And this is the beginning of the end of suffering. For everyone, the deepest truth will always set you free. And a lot of people are afraid of that, so they don't pursue it. They don't do it. Just kind of, push it in a corner, put it in a closet. But when you are able to, this is about going within. This is about releasing, surrendering. And when you share what cannot be shared, and you speak what cannot be spoken, and you reveal what may embarrass you completely, you literally, all the walls, mask, and hiding vaporize. And this is where the majority of us suffer stress, worry, anguish, anxiety, whatever, that we experience for ourselves. It's because of what we hold within us that we don't tend to. It's what we hold within us that we ignore, that we just try to, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm not going to address that. So it stays there. You ever know you have that feeling? You ever get that feeling? It's kind of like ominous or heavy. It's because of the buildup. When we release, when we let go of inside of us, the things that we harbor, the things that we collect, and in a way we're all collectors because we collect emotions, events, and things that we didn't get resolution with. We never completely eliminate it by letting it go. A lot of the times when we are confronted with things, instead of surrendering to them, we fight them. And none of us are exempt from that. So we fight them, which actually gives them more power, more energy, more frequency to literally stay with us and expand. And it's not the way that we think. We think that we should, with ourselves, I'm talking about different things that occur with us that we have conjured through the ego mind, so to speak. And these things come in, and we are stiff and combative and defensive when they do. So we, instead conversation about this yesterday. But all the things that we are confronted with ourselves, just, the situations that we allow ourselves to be in, whatever it may be. It's like, I wasn't expecting this to happen, but you were there at the time it happened. You chose to be there at the time it happened. And you happened to be. There's no such thing as happenstance or coincidence type thing. It's basically, you're not truly conscious about the fact that you did that. You set that up. You directed it, and you put it out there. But to many, they don't correlate that. They just believe that, this is a situation type thing. Imagine you're driving, and you say to yourself, and this is very factual, but we don't identify with it. But you're driving, you're traveling somewhere, and before you get in a vehicle, or even before you leave your dwelling, you have this kind of a process, kind of feeling. You're not sure what it is, but it's kind of a unpleasant feeling. And as you're getting ready to go and get in a vehicle and travel somewhere. And what that is that the God, the pure consciousness within you, is trying to communicate with you to get through to you that do not allow your ego to set something up that you aren't going to really like. So now understand that every single thing is engineered. The universe, there's no faultiness anywhere. We're taught to view that there's faultiness, but there isn't. So everything has a pattern. Everything has a purpose. No matter what it isn't helter-skelter. It isn't all over the place. So when you begin to understand this, and you're traveling, and you go somewhere, or you're at a street intersection or something, and wham, you get hit just out of the clear blue. Now, because of all the frequencies and energies in place, and with your direction, this is created. I kid you not. And many of us think that it was, being at the wrong place at the wrong time. But because of where you're at and what your ego mind is dictating to you through the heart mind, you create this. Now, it can be the fact that you have a fear that's beginning to bubble, but it's a thought. It's all it is. But we have a tendency to pull that in as a reality. So when these thoughts come in, we embrace them as a reality, so we create things. Have you ever been doing where you're traveling and you say, oh, I hope I don't run out of gas, or I hope the car doesn't break down? And it could be a brand new car, a brand new vehicle, but you have that feeling. You're worried, you stress, okay? It's not, at times it's very subtle, it is very, very undetectable, but other times it's pretty heavy. And for some reason we have a tendency to do this on different things. It's not like anything is happening or anything foreboding is going to happen. It's just that we engage beforehand and we're unaware of it. So we literally are there with it when it happens. It's all, something's going on, or I hear a noise, or the tire seems low, or something gives out, and you break down or whatever. And Now, here's the interesting part. Now, imagine that you knew you did this. You created it. You created the frequencies and the energies, and this happened. So it's an experience. So rather than becoming upset and irritated and stressed, oh, what am I going to do? Okay. Who am I going to call? How long is it going to take? I've got to get here, and now this, and all that starts flooding in, and we just become really stressed, irritated, irritable, upset. And instead of just saying, you know what, this is just part of my experiences in this existence, in this life, so I'm just going to go with the flow. And that's releasing, surrendering. You're not fighting yourself. You're not in conflict with yourself. You're not stressing. You're just letting it go. This downstream thinking. It's exactly what it is. Downstream thinking just means that you just go with the flow. You're not concerned about where you're going to end up. All you're doing is enjoying the journey. And you've heard it before, enjoy the journey, not the destination. It's about the journey, not the destination. It's about the experiences that we have, that we choose to have, and that we lay out for ourselves. And this is all about knowing, the different facets of who and what we are. And knowing the God within you, and knowing that, okay, so I know that I create everything. And so then you'll hear that someone says, life has a tendency to throw little surprises your way. Not really. Not really. It's just that we're not conscious of it. So it's viewed that way. It's thought that way. But even when your subconscious is engaged in its creating through the ego mind, and things are being created. But understand something. Your mind is in total disarray. It has no structure. It is under no control. And it is flailing around in every direction possible. This is why we receive thousands and thousands of thoughts every day, even while we're sleeping. So it's 24/7. It never ends. So the mind is everywhere. Now picture that. Your mind's everywhere. And the ego mind doesn't help much at all. So you've got all these thoughts coming in. You have the ego mind saying, yeah, grab that. Yeah, do this, do this, do that. It's never enough. I'm never satisfied. I'll never be satisfied. And I want more and more and more and more and more. More of this, more of that, more of this, more of that. And you picture that, all that going on. Now you know why it is so important for us to choose on our own to go with the flow. It's just, it eliminates a lot of the friction and the tug of war we have with ourselves. Surrendering into things. What that means is that you lean into your God. You know that the universe has your back, always will, has never not had your back. The only time it doesn't is when you stop it from cradling you, period, and from protecting you. So you look at the universe and you see the vastness, okay? And you realize that it is never ending. So you have all this at your back. All of us do. Everybody. And the unfortunate thing is that we're taught, well, in these bodies that, no, you've got to do this and that. You've got to struggle. You've got to fight. And, you got to have fear and, anger, all these things, And you really don't. You can choose. Now picture this, that you're aware of these things, so that when you get those, when you receive that feeling, okay, when you're about to go somewhere and do something, and you get that feeling, like, you don't know what it is. I wonder if I should really go. I wonder, maybe I should just wait. Maybe I'll reschedule it. Maybe I won't do that. But basically it's the God telling you is that be careful, because you're creating something you're unaware of. and that you're going to experience it. So see how important it is for us to stay in love, in grace and harmony with ourselves, and be gentle and kind with ourselves and forgiving, because of the fact that a lot of us are very rough on ourselves. We really are. We unnecessarily so. We attack ourselves. We ridicule ourselves. We reprimand ourselves. We're not really gentle and forgiving and kind and generous and humble with ourselves. And it's important that we are, because guess what? When you're able to do that and you choose to do that, what happens is that you affect others, and you treat others differently in a much higher frequency, and you're more in the mode of just flowing and not fighting. And when you flow and you're not fighting, it's a whole different experience. You just kind of saunter. You know what I mean? You're just sauntering. You know when you have, you just feel like you're indestructible. You have this knowing. Sometimes it comes over us. And the knowing is, you feel that everything is right. Everything is in place. It feels good. And you're not concerned about tomorrow or yesterday. All you're doing is just relishing in the very moment and enjoying that feeling. And what that is for a slight moment you connect with the God within, and everything is right. Nothing can happen to you or with you unless you create it to be so. And part of this has been because we've had so many things taken from us as a civilization. We've had the God torn out of us, taken out of mankind, put somewhere in the sky. We've been misdirected, misinformed. We have been deceived, and many different avenues. So for us to really, it takes a bit for us to readjust ourselves and really identify the God within us, that it's never been out there, and it never will be. There's nothing out there except that which you create for yourself. It really isn't. It's only what you create for yourselves. I ask people, what is the world that you would like to experience? What world would you like to experience on this planet? And it might be a good idea that you write it down. I've asked that before, that you write it down. What is the world that you want to be in, to exist in, to experience? And that's what matters. All this other stuff outside of you has no bearing. It has always been your intent, what you desire, what you want. And it always, and if you pull it and push it and attack it, it's just going to be absolutely a mess. But when you have the knowing, you realize that the universe has your back, always will have it. And when you think about it, it answers you. Have I ever let you down? No. Have I ever done what you have I ever not done what you've asked me to do? No. Haven't I always protected you when you've allowed me to? Yes. See? And you're in the driver's seat. You always have been. But of course, the influence while in physical form that we go through sets the stage for different separation. Not integration, separation. It's always about separation. You ever notice that? We're always trying to keep us separate, apart from each other. Not unified, not loving, not peaceful, but always separate, always being angry and defensive towards each other. Whip it up, cause this to happen. And of course, with our ego mind and our mind out of control, we create it. We create the fear. We create the actions that take place for us, the events, and we experience it. Some people say, I feel so beat up. in this life, I don't know how much longer I can go on. Because guess what? You've done it to yourself. You've done it to yourself. And that's not, it's not a guilt trip. It's not a negative. It's acknowledging is that I created this. Why did I create it? And you ask yourself, why did I create all this? Why would I create this? Because you weren't consciously aware that you were. That's it right there. If you were consciously aware, it'd be a lot different, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be a different scenario, a different situation, a different direction for you? Because you would go through this life pretty much effortlessly. All the pain and suffering and the sorrow and anguish and all of that stuff that we basically dove into when we came in these bodies is not a natural state of being. Do you see that? And so say that we've experienced this, and we all have, in different ways, shapes, and forms. So we experience it. Why would we need to continually experience it? Does that make any sense to any of you? Okay, so pain and suffering and anger and jealousy and greed and all that stuff, we've all been touched by that stuff. But why would we continually want to be in that? There's no reason, is there? Okay, so I've experienced that. I know what it is, and that's it. Period. Boom. But unfortunately, when we get into a direction, whether we're, if we're cajoled or deceived, directed into that direction, remember the ego mind, that little fella there, is really powerful, and the ego mind and the mind, which is basically unstructured, with flailing thoughts going everywhere, most of which aren't yours, you create it. We create it. We create disharmony. We create dissatisfaction. We have attachments. We have expectations. And every time you have attachments and expectations in this life, and they don't come out the way you want, it's called disappointment. It's called sadness at times. Anger, frustration. You see what it does? This is what we do to ourselves. And it's never been about everything out there in the material world. It's never been about finding happiness outside of yourself or finding where you want to be in life. It is always in the now. It is always within you, and it always will be. The love that you seek is within you. The understanding of that love is within you. The peace that you seek is within you. All of it, the abundance, the prosperity, it's all within you. And see, it isn't unusual for any of us to have been taught to seek everything outside of ourselves. There's nothing inside of us. Flesh and blood, that's it. There's no spirit in there. The spirit, the God's in the sky. It's above you. And you're supposed to kneel and pay homage to that. Now, when we're all made equal, does this make sense to you? When we're all made equal, right? Doesn't matter what your lot in life is, what your position is, what your wealth is, what your education is. But the God within us, all of us, are made of the exact same essence of love. So it doesn't, we're all one, we're all together, so there's no separation there. And so when we view ourselves, it's how we view ourselves. This is everything that I am seeking is within me. It is within the kingdom of God, which is in me. And therefore, I am compelled to seek out and to learn about the kingdom of God within me and what that means, about me, about who I am and what I am, so that I can maneuver on this planet and this body with ease, with exuberation, with frolic, with enjoyment and fun. Doesn't it make sense that we come to this planet, we walk on its surface, we exist And most of us really are looking for peace and prosperity and happiness and joy always outside of ourselves. But when we find it inside, it then manifests. It's created into reality outside of us. You see how it's been reversed on us? It's been reversed and everything's outside of us. So if you're going to go find answers and you're going to go find the truth of life, you got to go out there. You got to seek it out there. And that's absolute false. You don't seek it out there. You seek it within. And every time you seek it within, you will find. So shall you find. What thou seekest within, you shall find. No matter what you're looking for. It's like, am I a good person? You're all good people. We all are. But does it mean that we don't have a dark end? No, it doesn't mean that. It's just that we're in balance. We know that we don't care to become angry, upset, frustrated, defensive. See, we're in balance with ourselves. We know this because no matter how much you look at it and how much you want separation, dark and light are of the same creation. See? And again, we've been taught separation, forebodingness. The dark affords the light to expand. See? Without the dark, how could the light expand? Why do you think that space is dark and cold and feels lifeless? And when you go out into space, you feel that. It's dark and cold and lifeless. But it is a space to be filled with light. So we balance things within us. We balance within us. The yin and the yang. We balance our chi, our ki, our God force. These are things that we do. We balance things. You know, all of us know and feel when we're out of balance, when things just aren't in the right motion. So this meditation, balance. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we desire, want to do, is relax our bodies. Now, when you understand you're the master and commander of your body, you really are. You can just literally relax, let it go. Let all the things you've collected in the last 24 hours that might be stressful, disheartening, any of the stuff that does not serve you for the greater good, then release it, let it go. Period. And it goes. When you do it with great intent through your heart-mind, with love and peace and joy, it'll disperse. It'll go. It has no choice. And whenever you're confronted with things that are dark and gloomy, surrender. Because what they want you to do is fight them. Be angry with them. Feed them. Your anger feeds the very thing that you don't care to be confronted with. But we've been taught the opposite, haven't we? So relax the body. Drop the shoulders. Let it all just spill off of you. And as you do that, we want to move into the now. Is there anything else but the now? No. Is there the future? We haven't created the future yet. We create the future in the now, consciously aware of how we're creating and what we're creating. It's the same way with the past. The past is over. It's extinguished. It doesn't exist. We have experienced and we have moved on. It's like the now is a moment, is a space between heartbeats, but the moment is fleeting. It's only in that moment that you're focused on, nothing else. So you relax the body, you move into the now, and you focus on the moment. Whatever it is you may be doing, focus on it. Expand on it. And to some that was, is that silly? I'm going to focus on going to the bathroom. I've had people say that. And you go, yeah, it's in the moment. What are you appreciative in the moment? That you're able to do the things you're doing at that moment. And then that brings you into deep gratitude. And then you begin to realize just how grateful you are for everything. See, the moment expands us. It brings us into clarity and understanding and humbleness. And by being in that moment, it expands from that. So you focus on moment to moment, and you start understanding and noticing things that you have taken for granted so very long. What do you think happens? What do you think happens, okay, when you are in a misguided direction? What do you think happens? Okay? When you hold back, when you aren't honest with yourself, when you aren't truthful with yourself, all of these things pull you away from the now. They disrupt it. To keep you in the future. You worry about everything in the future, or worry about what you experienced in the past, and the now is left alone. This is what happens to a lot of us. But it's so important for us to focus on the now, because the now also stills the mind. Remember, the mind is everywhere. It has no structure or control. It's everywhere, flailing around like a Tasmanian devil. And it is like the cartoon, the Tasmanian Devil, Looney Tunes. And then you look at the ego mind. And the ego mind is incessantly dissatisfied, never content, always wanting more, always pushing you. State. That's where the ego comes in, where we're never really satisfied. We have quick gratification, it dissipates and is gone, and we're constantly seeking more gratification in different ways, shapes, and forms in our existence in this life. So you begin to say, okay, I will leave the mind alone, and I will oversee the ego mind through the heart mind. That's pretty interesting when you fall into that and understand what that means. Now, we don't bring the past into the future. People do. We're all tempted to. So we reminisce so much in the past that we get so caught up in the reminiscing that it's dangerous too, because a lot of times we aren't aware of what we're doing, and then we bring it into the future. And the future doesn't exist until we bring the past into the future, and then we create the future from the past, and then we relive the past in that future. So we feel like we're just running in circles most of our lives. So now, what do you want to do as you've relaxed the body and you're in the now? Breathing, paramount. Absolutely paramount. So we breath in through our nose nice and easy, and we breath out through our mouths. Now visualize this through your heart mind. As we breath in through the nose, we take that nice easy breath in, we're breathing in divine positive energy. And the divine positive energy is omnipotently powerful. It sustains the body. It relaxes the body. It calms the body. It reduces stress, anxiety, fear. And without it, we wouldn't be able to be in these bodies. Now, we're going to take the breath through the chakras. The chakras are vortexes of energy. And the vortexes of energy lying across 7 different points on our spinal column. And those 7 vortexes of energy, the 7 chakras, are connected to different glands and organs in the body and are responsible for uniform distribution of chi, or ki, or prana, or life energy, or God force. And through them, when there is a disruption in this life energy or a blockage in any one or more chakras, the individual may suffer from health or mental issues. Thus, the chakras from the energy ecosystem of every individual. A deficiency in this ecosystem can wreak havoc in the different areas of life. So, we start with the red wheel of light, the root chakra, the Muladhara, energy, stability, comfort, safety, I am. And then we move to the orange wheel of light, the sacral chakra, the Vadhisthana, sensuality, sexuality, pleasure, sociability, I feel. Whenever these things are disrupted, you know that your chakras are not in line. Then we move to the yellow wheel of light, the solar plexus chakra, the Manipura. Strength, personality, power, determination, I do. Then we move to the green wheel of light, the heart chakra, the Anahata. Acceptance, love, compassion, sincerity, I love. And then to the blue wheel of light, throat chakra, the Vishuddha. Communications, expressions, creativity, inspiration, I talk. And then we move to the third eye chakra, the Ajna, the violet light wheel. Intuition, lucidity, meditation, trust, I see. And then we move to the crown chakra, the purple wheel of light, the Sahasrara. Knowledge, consciousness, fulfillment, spirituality, I understand. As we bring that breath, that divine positive energy up, all through the chakras, into the back of the head, we hold it briefly. I am light, I am love, I am. And then we release it, we condense it and compress it into pure liquid energy and release it over the pineal gland. When we do this, the pineal gland, starting as a rosebud, immediately blossoms and blooms into a full fragrant red rose. And the rose is eternal. It doesn't dissipate or disintegrate. And as fragrant, powerful, peaceful, and the pineal gland is very important to us while we're in these bodies because it is the gateway to all the particles of existence, and it's the gateway to pure consciousness, and it's the gateway to beyond. So it's important for us. So this exercise enables the pineal gland to become in full motion, in full energy, in full openness. So when you have a locked door, you're not going to be able to get through it if it's made of a material that's impenetrable. The only way is to dissolve it. And the way to dissolve it is what we do with the pineal gland and the breathing and through the chakras and creating this pure liquid frequency. Now, we're aware and know that a little guy, the ego, is there, the ego mind. So we basically embrace the ego mind, saturate the ego mind with love, and then basically say it's not in charge. You are. And tell it to take a seat or lay on the couch. And believe me, after a while, it'll get the message. consciously aware that we are all of the deepest eternal love, and from the deepest eternal love, and of the deepest of eternal gratitude. And we also know that we're one. The God is with the body is with the God. The heart-mind, we're all merged into one. We're the paradise, we're the heaven on earth. And we have others with us. This is a massive gathering. This is a massive meditation. It goes beyond this planet. And there are literally trillions participating in it, not only those of us on this planet, in it, above and below it, but throughout the universes. So you have the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. Many, many, many trillions of them. It is a civilization that vibrates at a different frequency than we do. Therefore, we don't see them like we see each other. We feel them. We sense them. And at times they do appear in humanoid body to leave us a message, to remind us of how spectacular it is to exist in physical form. And thousands of them can surround any one of us at any one time, and they can hold a very small space in large number because of their vibrational frequency. So, we also have the Ascended Masters. Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda Jesus, Moria, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, and many, many, many more. Now, these are those who have ascended out of body and hold God form, pure consciousness, pure from source creation. We are God form that ascend into body to experience life, this existence, this material life. And we help each other, and we assist each other. We're all helping and assisting each other. The archangels, the Ascended Masters, and all those that we call in today. And, you know, the Ascended Masters and the archangels are all consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude. We call upon all the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, beneath earth, Agartha, many, many, many civilizations and species. Only those that are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, and this gathering, in this formula circle of life. And they come in the billions. And we also call upon all of the light energy beings that are in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, and only those who are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in this gathering, forming the circle of light. And they come in the googolplexes. One googolplex fills this universe. They come in trillions from every direction, 360 degrees. So we call on all the off-worlders, all the galactics, many, many, many civilizations and species. Just in this quadrant of the galaxy, in this solar system, over 1,000 different civilizations and species travel through the solar system every day. The Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Andromedas, the Sirians, Zeta Reticuli, Greys, all the different species of the Greys. the Nords, Golden Pyramid, Avian, Feline. I mean, it goes on and on. And only those who are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest and deepest, eternal gratitude can join us in this now, in this meditation, in this forming the circle of light. And they have been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, and our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And they come in the billions. We call upon all of our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime, in all lifetimes that we have inhabited, and only those who are consciously aware that they are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest and deepest, eternal gratitude. And join us in this now, in this meditation, in this forming of the circle of light. And they come in the billions. And only those that are consciously aware that are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest and deepest, eternal gratitude. We all must be in the highest of the highest high frequencies of deep, eternal love and gratitude to participate in this meditation. We call upon all the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, in this meditation, in the forming of the circle of light. And only those who are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest and deepest, eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light. We must maintain the highest of vibrational frequencies. It is our choosing. And they come in the trillions, shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations of many of which we've never seen before. Just to name a few of them: the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, trolls, the trees, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether. The Pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale. Many, many, many more. And they are with us. Now, all of us are together. We are one. All of us are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love. Our gods are all together, arm in arm, hand in hand. We are in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, benevolence, tranquility, abundance. And we are all one. And we are all the God. And we are all the love. And our God light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify and it continues to expand. As we've come together, massive numbers throughout the universe, focusing on this planet, Earth, Gaia, Arya, and its liberation, and its ascension. All of us. So we form this brilliant, radiant, magna-glorious circle of light. It is the brightest of the brightest white. And it would take at least 1 billion of the suns in the solar system to come close to its radiance. eternal love and gratitude. And it saturates, floods, and bathes everything in everything, everywhere, with deep eternal love and gratitude. We should say gratitude. So we begin to ascend, levitate above the planet. And as we do this, we are immediately met with a massive gossamer field filled with vibrant colors in the trillions it's like an ocean of glitter. But yet you move effortlessly through it. And as we do this, the first thing that happens is that we're met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column that reminds us that we are the power of healing. And then immediately we are met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column that reminds us that we, of our power, of our strength, of our resolve. And then we are met with the white fire. This is the column that reminds us that we are imbued head to toe, inside and out, with a brilliant white fire armor. It is of the highest high frequencies of deep eternal love and gratitude. And it literally protects us from all interferences of lower frequencies, anything wishing to do harm. These are low vibrational frequencies. They will vaporize and they come anywhere near the vicinity of our white fire armor. Now, only we, each of us, can choose to disharmonize our white fire armor by allowing ourselves to go deep into lower dark matter frequencies or lower survival matter frequencies. If we go down deep enough, we will diminish the white fire armor and henceforth allow these frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if this happens, we are then met with the purple transmuting flame. This is a column that reminds us that we can bring the purple transmuting flame in. We can literally transmute all of these lower frequencies into neutral light substance, and then we just simply send it back to pure consciousness where it becomes no more. And then we're immediately met with the violet ray. This is a column that reminds us that we can bring in the violet ray right in behind the purple transmuting flame, and we can cleanse and purify the area that these low frequencies were let into, and thus restoring our white fire armor to its brilliant radiance of the highest of deepest eternal love and gratitude. We're also met with the golden white pink light. This column reminds us that we are love, that we will always be love, that we are immortal, eternal, that we are divine, supreme divine beings, supreme immortal beings, immortal supreme beings. So, and we see this golden white pink light everywhere. We see it in the sunsets. We see it in sunrises. We see it in rainbows. We experience, when we see it, the feeling of deep eternal love and deep eternal gratitude. We see it. We experience it. We feel it. Because it's part of us. It's the love that we are. That every one of us are. That all things are. Everything and everything. Now, some of us, as we continue to move up, some of us step outside of our bodies if we're carrying physical form, and we float above our bodies effortlessly. as we do this, we look and we see this massive column that we created. And this column is larger than our solar system. And we designed it as it's total opaque, and it's an auric energy that is literally shimmering and vibrating outward in trillions of radiant colors. It's like a trillion rainbows of endless variety of vibrant colors. And then we look at the top, and we design the top so that the golden ocean can cascade down 360 degrees in all angles, all directions, saturating, flooding, and bathing everyone, everything, and everything with deep eternal love and gratitude. And each of us is a drop of that golden ocean, and each of us contain the essence of that golden ocean in that drop. Now, we continue to levitate, and we look a little over and see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. It houses all of our meditations in perpetual motion. Moving towards 900 meditations, and all in perpetual motion of the deepest intent, the deepest eternal love and gratitude, the gentleness, the kindness, the generosity and humbleness, the bliss and the joy, the peace, the tranquility and benevolence, all housed of the highest of highest intensities in this sphere. And this sphere floods everything. Everything and everything saturates, floods, and bathes, inside and out, head to toe. All of us. This is why it can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And this is why it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. All of us, the column, the meditative sphere, the universe, source creator, all together, all particles of the God, all of us, the kingdom of God, housed within each and every one of us. We look at this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, in this meditation, this circle of light. We bathe it, we flood it, we saturate it, all things, everything and everything, on it, in it, above it, and below it. All lower frequencies, all the disharmony, lifted away, vaporized. Picture this planet literally encased in a perfect sphere of white fire armor. Literally. And picture all of us as crystal and light towers, energizing this fire of the highest of deepest eternal love and gratitude, gratitude, peace, joy, abundance, prosperity, wealth, immortality, happiness, all of it, saturating and flooding, disallowing any of the lower dark matter frequencies or lower vibrational matter frequencies, survival matter frequencies, to exist. Ascending at high velocity with fifth dimensional frequency. These frequencies, these low dark matter frequencies, cannot sustain themselves. When you flood them with love, gentleness, and kindness, they can't sustain themselves. They vaporize. And this is our intent. To free the civilization of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and so it can blossom and levitate itself and advance itself and ascend itself into the higher vibrational frequencies of fifth dimension and beyond. Feel it. Balance. Feel the balance coming into form. Feel the balance in your hearts, in your minds, in your bodies. Feel the balance with the God within you. Feel the atmosphere. Experience the love, the joy, and watch frequency continues to intensify and continues to expand. I'll join you in a meditation, and I'll return to close us out. evening and night, the following morning, be lighter than the feather. Be lighter than the air. Float. And know the true God that each and every one of you are. And the joy and the love and the gratitude continues to intensify and continues to expand within you, outside of you, and beyond. We will be back here Saturday, July 4th, 2020, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. And also for those of you, the Tradera call will commence at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Tradera line.